Okay, now I have cut out my backing fabric, and I have the right sides together with the cross stitch facing in and the fabric that I want to be on the back. The right sides are together, and then I have two lining stockings pinned together, and I've made a little tag to that I folded. I just took a small piece of fabric, folded in the two edges and folded it in half, and I'm going to sew along this edge. I'm going to sew along these edges and get ready to put my stocking together. So we'll be back in a minute. Forgot to add, when you're sewing around the lining of your project, to leave about a 3-inch opening on one side so that you can turn it inside out through that opening. Once you have sewn all around your stocking and your lining stocking, the next thing you're going to do is you're going to take a really sharp scissors and you're going to cut V's like so out of the seam allowance, so that when you turn it inside out, it won't be bulky on the edges. So you just cut that, and be careful not to cut through the line of stitching, but you're going to do that around all the curves, so that when you turn it inside out, you don't have big chunks of fabric. You can also trim the seam allowance. I'm going to trim mine a little bit, but not too much, because I don't want to risk raveling it. And I'm going to do the same thing on the lining fabric. And I have sewn my hanging tag as well. So I will clip these, and then I'll put this back together and show you what to do from there. Okay, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take this and I'm going to fold it like so, and I'm going to tuck it inside the stocking facing down, because I'm going to sew around on top of this so that it stays in place. I'm going to make it nice and sturdy, because you might have a lot of heavy packages in there and you don't want it to break. Okay, so what I did was I sewed all the way around the lining fabric, and I left a section open on the side. So I sewed at the top, and then I came down and I sewed around here. And now I've put the stocking inside the lining, and I have the right sides together, so the good sides that I want to show together. And I've tucked my hanger inside between the two layers. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to sew around the top of the stocking, and then I'm going to turn it inside out, or right side out, through the hole here, and then I'm going to press it. So I'll be back. I'm sewing at 5/8 of an inch all the way around. Back stitching over that tab so that when it's hanging, it will be able to hold the weight. And back stitching at the end. You always lift your needle, pull it out, snip the threads, and then I'll turn it inside out and show you the finished product. Okay, before I finish this stocking, the next thing I want to do is the hole that I used to turn it right side out. I'm going to stitch that, and I'm going to stitch it on the machine. You can hand stitch it if you want to, but it's not going to show, so I'm just going to quickly zip it up and close it up. Now, before I turned it completely right side out, I zigzagged around the outside edge of the, well, first I trimmed it really short, and then I zigzagged around the outside edge, and then I stitched again, because this, if anything, this is the part that's going to get the most abuse as kids dig for what their treasure is. So again, I trimmed it so there wouldn't be a lot of bulk in the toe of the actual stocking, and then I zigzagged around it and then did another line of stitching around the bottom. When you're done, you should hang Isabelle or your Winking Santa on the fireplace.